Why did you do that?
A prosecutor's fight.
He had researched the average time that it took officers to respond to a school shooting, and he used that information to kill more people.
One-on-one with a woman fighting to keep the confessed Oxford school shooter behind bars for the rest of his life.
The now 17-year-old Oxford shooter faces mandatory sentences of life in prison without parole in connection with the November 2021 massacre. But his sentencing is handled differently because he's a minor.
Yes, the judge's decision is expected tomorrow, and he has two choices. You could either go with life without parole, or also you can go with a term of years, probably about 40 to 60 years. Now, if the shooter does get a minimum sentence, and we'll see if they can catch up with us, the shooter would be eligible for parole probably in his 50s, and the judge is considering a number of factors, including his family and home environment, the circumstances of the crime. So there's a lot to consider. So I sat down with Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald. She is fighting to keep that shooter behind bars for the rest of his life.
I campaigned on treat kids like kids. We seek to do that every day in this office. In fact, when I took office, I reversed the prior prosecutor's decision on life without parole for 26 individuals and agreed to a term of years.
But Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald says the case of the Oxford school shooter is very, very different.
You can't state that belief and ignore the actual events of this case and try to pretend that we can just group this crime and this individual in the group of all the other juvenile lifers. You cannot.
A lot was mentioned in court about his video recordings and his intention. How important were those pieces of information to you in terms of presenting your case? One
of the reasons we have at its core the heightened scrutiny is based on the inability as the juvenile brain to understand consequences. Mm-hmm. And in this case, this individual not only understood them, he wrote about them frequently. He knew that Michigan did not have a death penalty. He knew what prison he would go to. He searched about that. He had researched the average time that it took officers to respond to a school shooting, and he used that information to kill more people.
Among the evidence was a video the shooter recorded the day before the shooting, in which he identified himself as the nation's next mass school shooter and outlined his plan and motive for the massacre. McDonald says his plan to kill was well planned out. As far as mental illness,
he does not have a diagnosable illness pursuant to a statutory defense, and that's all that we know. But I'm certainly not going to say there isn't something wrong. Nor would I say that he didn't face some obstacles and challenges in the way he was raised. But I can't ignore what happened, and I think no one can. And I'm also not doing my job if I don't actually present what is it about this case and this individual that is rare and different and horrible. It's unconscionable, it's unimaginable, but it happened.
By the way, when I was talking with Karen, she did say, you know, she ran on a campaign of helping juveniles who have those life sentences to get them out, but she said this case is completely different, and that is why she's making the decision she's making in terms of fighting for no parole. I did also reach out to the shooter's defense attorney, but they did not want to offer any kind of comment on the case as we wait for tomorrow's decision. In court, the defense did try to show the judge that the shooter was not irreparably corrupt and could be rehabilitated. Again, a decision is expected tomorrow. We are going to stream that live on Local 4 Plus. That is at 9 o'clock. Christy McDonald will be anchoring our coverage for that. The judge then is set to formally sentence the shooter on December 8th. Obviously, all eyes around the country will be watching this one.
Yeah, so a lot of interest in this case, Karen, and I know a lot of people may be wondering, what about the shooter's parents? Any updates on their case?
Well, obviously, everyone's watching that, too, because no one's really followed up and tried to charge the parents. McDonald did not want to make a direct comment on that. She's not allowed, but the parents do face involuntary manslaughter charges. charges. Their defense team has asked the Michigan Supreme Court to intervene after the Michigan Court of Appeals upheld a ruling from a lower court to send the parents to trial. So obviously this is going back and forth in the courts. We're waiting to hear if the state Supreme Court will hear their case or not, but that's a landmark case as well because the parents are being held responsible for what the son has confessed to do. So it's going to be a big day tomorrow either way.
All right, and we'll be tuning in.
Yep, Local 4
9 o'clock.
Plus, 9 a.m. streaming.
Thanks, Karen.